see it. Thank you. Well, now if I turn it on, it works better. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our monthly meeting of the Cobb County Board of Zoning Appeals. Sorry about that. Before we begin, I'd like to ask everyone who can to stand and join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I will now call the meeting to order. Please silence your cell phones. We will begin with a consent agenda. For those who do not have a copy of the agenda or who are attending for the first time, we will concern ourselves with cases that are on consent. These are cases that have been reviewed by the board and by the professionals from the various departments in the county, and to which there is no known opposition at this time. We've discussed these in our work session. Certain staff comments and stipulations have been made, and we do not anticipate any further discussion is needed for a decision. So as we go forward, the County Zoning Division Manager, Mr. Peterson, will read each case into the record. He will ask you to raise your hand to signify you are here. If you happen to be in opposition to a case on consent, Mr. Peterson will ask you to identify yourself as that case is read into the record. We will then pull that case off the consent agenda and hear it as part of our regular case agenda. We will then vote on all the cases still on consent at one time. Once we have approved the cases on consent, we will move to our regular case agenda. With that, we are ready to address the items on consent. Mr. Peterson.
Okay, and before we begin consent, there are two cases on today's agenda which have been continued until the November 12th, 2025 Board of Zoning Appeals hearing, and these two cases will not be heard today. First one is variance case V113 of 2025, Burn Boot Camp, Lost Mountain. This case was continued until the November 12th, 2025 Board of Zoning Appeals hearing. And number two, V116 of 2025, Jennifer Wolf. This case was actually continued until the December 10th, 2025 Board of Zoning Appeals hearing. So V113 and V116 will not be heard today. All right, Cobb County Board of Zoning Appeals, variance hearing consent agenda for October 15th, 2025. First case on consent is variance case V114. Scott Dozier requests a variance to reduce the front setback from required 50 feet to 26 feet in land lot 837 of the 17th district. The property is located on the northeast corner of Valley Trail Drive and Brookview Drive. Staff recommends approval, subject to number one, traffic comments, and number two, stormwater management comments. Is the applicant present? Let the record show the applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V114? Okay, let the record show there's no one opposed. Variance case V115, Kelly Consola requests a variance to number one, reduce the front setback from required 45 feet to 30 feet, and number two, reduce the rear setback from required 40 feet to 25 feet in land lot 338 of the 20th district. The property is located on the south side of Pindos Trail, east of Pindos Pass. Staff recommends approval, subject to stormwater management comments with the deletion of comment number 3. Is the applicant present? Let the record show the applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case of V115? Let the record show there's no one opposed. Variance case V117, Crystal Freeman Henderson requests a variance to allow 2 additional electrical meters, one at each garage, in land lot 367 of the 16th district. The property is located on the south side of Woodhill Drive, west of Shaw Road. Staff recommends approval. Is the applicant present? Let the record show the applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case of V117? Let the record show there's no one opposed. Variance case of V118, Jason Toole requests a variance to number one, increase the maximum allowable impervious coverage from 78.91% per previous variance V58 of 2024 to 80.3%. Number 2, allow 2 accessory structures, which is a proposed 1,327 square foot freestanding meal delivery canopy and a 1,151 square foot freestanding order canopy to be located to the side and to the front of the principal building. Number 3, reduce the setbacks for an accessory structure, which is a proposed 1,327 square foot freestanding meal delivery canopy from required 50 feet to 49 feet adjacent to the southeastern property line and 6 feet adjacent to the northeastern property line. Number 4, reduce the setbacks for an accessory structure, which is a proposed 1,151 square foot freestanding order canopy required 50 feet to 28 feet adjacent to the southeastern property line. And number 5, reduce parking spaces from required 49 parking spaces to 45 parking spaces in land lot 1061 of the 16th district. The property is located on the northwest corner of Summit Village Drive and Roswell Road. Staff recommends approval, subject to stormwater management comments. Is the applicant present? The applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V118? Let the record show there's no one opposed. Variance case V121, Emmett Shed requests a variance to 1, reduce the rear setback for an accessory structure, which is a proposed 576 square foot garage, required 35 feet to 7 feet adjacent to the southern property line. And number 2, reduce the rear setback for an accessory structure, which is an existing 336 square foot pool house gazebo, required 35 feet to 20 feet adjacent to the southern property line in land lot 529 of the 19th district. The property is located on the southwest corner of Greens Lane and Gaydon Road. Staff recommends approval, subject to no residential or commercial use of the detached garage. Is the applicant present? Let the record show the applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V121? Okay, we have one person opposed, so we'll pull that one off the consent agenda, Madam Chair and Board. All right, next case is variance case V122, North Atlanta Installation. Request a variance to increase the maximum allowable square footage for a wall sign per face from required 200 square feet to 502.6 square feet in land lot 61 and 92 of the 20th district. The property is located on the northeast corner of Royal Drive and Giles Road and on the west side of Cherokee Street. Staff recommends approval. Is the applicant present? The applicant is present. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V122? Okay, let the record show there's no one opposed. Variance case V123, North Atlanta Installation, request a variance to increase the maximum allowable square footage for a wall sign per face from required 200 square feet to 486.5 square feet in land lots 1029 and 1060 of the 16th district. The property is located on the east side of Roswell Road and on the south side of Robinson Road. Staff recommends approval. The applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V123? Let the record show there's no one opposed. Variance case V124, North Atlanta Installation, requests a variance to increase the maximum allowable square footage for a wall sign per face from required 200 square feet to 292 square feet in land lots 107, 108, and 122 of the 20th district. The property is located on the north side of Cobb Parkway and on the west side of Ackworth Due West Road. Staff recommends approval. The applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V124? Let the record show there's no one opposed. Variance case V125, North Atlanta Installation, requests a variance to increase the maximum allowable square footage for a wall sign per face from required 200 square feet to 311.1 square feet in land lots 222 and 225 of the 20th district. The property is located on the east side of Mars Hill Road and on the south side of Stylesboro Road. Staff recommends approval. The applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V125? Let the record show there's no one opposed. Variance case V126, Mary Elizabeth Stone and Me G. Stone request a variance to 1, reduce the rear setback from required 40 feet to 35 feet, and number 2, increase the maximum allowable impervious coverage from required 35% to 39.8% in land lot 906 of the 17th district. The property is located on the north side of Paces Lake Drive, west of Randall Farm Road. Staff recommends approval. Is the applicant present? Applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V126? Let the record show there's no one opposed. Variance case V127, Parade Mathor requests a variance to, 1, reduce the rear setback from required 30 feet to 11 feet. Number 2, reduce the setbacks for an accessory structure, which is the proposed pool equipment from required 5 feet to 2 feet, adjacent to the southwestern property line. And number 3, increase the maximum allowable impervious coverage from required 35% to 49.6% in land lot 958 of the 16th district. The property is located on the west side of Monty Drive, south of Monty Villa Court. Staff recommends approval, subject to stormwater management comments. Is the applicant present? Let the record show the applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V127? Let the record show there's no one opposed. Variance case V128, Jason Penley requests a variance to, 1, reduce setbacks for an accessory structure, which is an existing 1,080 square foot pool house from required 100 feet to 35 feet adjacent to the eastern property line and 10 feet adjacent to the southern property line. Number 2, reduce the setbacks for an accessory structure, which is an existing 1,200 square foot garage required 100 feet to 59 feet adjacent to the eastern property line and 20 feet adjacent to the northern property line in land lot 506 of the 19th district. The property is located on the east side of Old Lost Mountain Road, south of Abbey Grove Court. Staff recommends approval. The applicant's representative is present. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case of V128? Let the record show there's no one opposed. Variance case of V129, Mar Retaining Walls, Inc. requests a variance to, 1, increase the maximum height of a retaining wall from required 6 feet to 16.5 feet. And number 2, increase the maximum allowable impervious coverage from required 35% to 49.7% in land lot 72 of the 16th district. The property is located on the southeastern side of Miss Flower Drive, east of Daylily Way. Staff recommends approval, subject to stormwater management comments. Is the applicant present? Let the record show the applicants are here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V129? Let the record show there's no one opposed. Variance case V130, Neil Goldstein requests a variance to reduce the rear setback from required 50 feet to 28 feet in land lot 102 of the 1st district. The property is located on the south side of Chartley Way, north of Shallowford Road. Staff recommends approval, subject to stormwater management comments. Is the applicant present? The applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V130? Let the record show there's no one opposed. And that completes the consent agenda, Madam Chair and Board. I do have one other case that I think we can put on consent. And if it's okay with the board, I'm going to go ahead and call the case, and we're going to see if we can put it on consent. Okay, variance case at V120, Steve Cannon requests a variance to, 1, reduce the setbacks from required 10 feet to 5 feet adjacent to the western and northern property lines. And number 2, allow accessory use, which is proposed swimming pool equipment, to be located on the side of the principal building in land lot 253 of the 20th district. The property is located on the north side of Lattimore Farm Drive, west of Covell Court. Is the applicant present? The applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V120? Madam Chair and Board, the applicant is present, and there's no one opposed. And staff would recommend you put this on consent with no conditions.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, please your vote. That's accepted to be put on consent.
Madam Chair, before we make a vote for the consent agenda, I see that my applicant and opposition are conversing. Can we take a brief moment to see if they've come to some resolution to see if in fact we can place this back on consent or if we need to hear it?
Absolutely.
Thank you. So can we take about 2 minutes? Let me confer with both parties.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're pausing for one more brief minute, so I appreciate your patience.
All right, we're allowing 30 more seconds if we could, please, and if you can let me know. Okay, John, we can add V121 back to the consent agenda, please.
Okay, variance case at V121, Emmett Shed requests a variance to, 1, reduce the rear setback for an accessory structure, which is a proposed 576 square foot garage, required 35 feet to 7 feet adjacent to the southern property line. And number 2, reduce the rear setback for an accessory structure, which is an existing 336 square foot pool house gazebo, required 35 feet to 20 feet adjacent to the southern property line in land lot 529 of the 19th district. The property is located on the southwest corner of Greens Lane and Gaten Road. Staff recommends approval, subject to no residential or commercial use of the detached garage. The applicant is present. Is there anyone here opposed to the variance case of V121? No one opposed? Okay. Let the record show there's no one opposed. And that completes the consent agenda, Madam Chair and Board, with the only revision being adding V120 to the consent agenda.
Madam Chair and Board, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the addition of V120.
I'll second it.
Fred, did you have something you wanted to say? Okay. All right, place your votes. Items on the consent agenda have all passed. Thank you. If you were on the consent agenda, you certainly are welcome to leave. Just please do so quietly, and we'll give it a few minutes, okay? This is the Fred show now. This is the Fred show.
You ready?
All right, we're now ready to go forward with our regular case agenda. Our procedure here is Mr. Peterson will read a case into the record. The applicant and/or any representatives of the applicant who wishes to speak will be asked to come forward to be sworn in. Likewise, anyone wishing to speak in opposition will be asked to come forward and sworn in as well. The applicant and the opposition will have 10 minutes each to present their case. All testimony is made from the lectern on my right. There will be if you have AV materials, please bring them forward. We have the capabilities. The testimony will be followed by the questions from the board and may be directed to either party. A reminder, once comments from all parties related to the case have concluded and the public hearing is closed, there can be no more further comments from parties involved unless requested by a member of the board. at which point you will be asked to return to the podium. With that, Mr. Peterson, they're all yours.
And thank you, Madam Chair. Okay, first case we're going to hear on the held and continued case agenda is variance case V106. Nancy Carroll requests a variance to reduce the setbacks for an accessory structure, which is a proposed 1,000 square foot garage required 100 feet to 3 feet adjacent to the western property line and 20 feet adjacent to the southern property line in land lot 199 of the 20th District. The property is located at the terminus of Stylesboro Court, east of Stylesboro Drive. The applicant is present. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case of V106? So we have 2 people opposed. All those who wish to address the board either for or against the application, please come forward to be sworn in.
Hi, my name's Nancy Carroll. I own the property at 4024 Stylesboro Court in the Stylesboro Hills subdivision, and I'm back today to ask for the approval of the variance on the 25 by 40 square foot garage. We will be using this garage for our 2 daily drivers and to store a 81 Corvette and Kawasaki Mule lawnmowers, tools, weed eaters, patio furniture during the wintertime. It's just to keep our things out of the weather and safe and protected. We currently own another home in Indiana, and if we can get the garage built here, we're going to make Cobb County our permanent home. We're going to get rid of the home in Indiana. If we are approved for the garage build, our plan is within 6 months of getting the garage built to put in new windows and siding on the home, and then after that's done, to do landscaping on the home. So we plan on redoing everything we can to make it a much beautiful place. There's been a lot of homes in our neighborhood, it's an older neighborhood, that have been redone. You know, people have come through and made them look prettier, and we want to be part of that revitalization. And we hope that we can stay there because we've had the home for 35 years and we love our neighbor and our neighborhood. We were contacted last week from Mr. Cameron Jones and asked if we could move the garage over from the 3.2, and I contacted our surveyor and he said the furthest we could move it and still have space to walk between the fence that surrounds the pool and the garage is like to 7 foot. And after talking to my husband that day, so I got the surveyor to do that, and I sent it in to Mr. Cameron. And after talking to my husband that day, he asked if we could do it at 5 foot. So I have here both the 7 foot and the 5 foot. If we can't do the 5 foot, hey, we can't do it. But the reason for wanting it is so that we can properly maintain the fence that goes around the pool, pressure wash it, and the garage, cleaning the gutters, that kind of thing. But we'll take whatever we can get to be able to stay in our home. We love our home and would like to stay there. Before I started this process, I did go around and asked all of our neighbors if anybody had any opposition. And the only one that did was Mr. Runyon. And at that time, he told me, I offered to show him what I kind of had planned and why, and he wasn't interested in most of that. He just said he liked things the way that they were. He didn't want to see anything. He just liked things the way they were. And I said, okay, well, thank you. And when he came here, the only thing I heard was that he would have to look at it. We're perfectly willing to put up some greenery or something like that to block that from his view if that's a problem. I would think that the improvements that we're planning on making would make it a lot nicer to look at than the view he has right now. I appreciate your time and consideration. Is there any questions that I can answer? I would also be willing to attach it to the house, do a breezeway, if need be, to attach it. And you had asked me about the colors. I brought color samples if you wanted to see them. You do? You want me to give them to him, or?
Yeah.
The metal one will be the garage, and the plastic one will be the home. They're not the exact same product, but they're the same color.
And by the way, your hair is absolutely fabulous.
Pardon?
I just had to let you know that your hair is fabulous.
Well, thank you. I like your dress. I noticed it when I came in.
Ladies,
That's the color that we want to, I'll show you this is what the house, we're hoping will kind of eventually wind up looking like. Oh, sorry. Right now it's blue. Not the most appealing place, but it's home. And this is standing in the driveway, looking back at Mr. Runyon's house. You don't really see much through there. Is there any questions?
yeah. If you've completed your presentation, you can go ahead and sit down. If we have questions, we'll bring you back up.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to leave these, the 5-foot and 7-foot plats?
Yeah, leave them up here in case we need to look.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Leave them up here in case we need to reference them later. Do you have a question, Fred? Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
Sometimes he jumps in. Just. Okay. Opposition's ready to come up?
My name is Dennis Runyon. This is my wife, Gay. And we've lived in our house for 30 years. I don't believe Miss Carroll's lived in that house for 35 years. I think it's been rental property for a bit of that, because there have been a goodly number of people that have lived there in the 30 years that we've been there. And so she also put the picture up looking from her house to my house, where you cannot see my house. That's because of those trees, but those trees drop all their leaves in another couple of weeks. And those are all hardwood trees through there. And when there's no trees on there, it's just a clear shot all the way back. I mean, you can see the trunks of the trees, you can see some limbs, but it's not covered up like that. Those are hardwoods, so they will be, the leaves are already falling off, okay? So one of the issues we had is it's a 1,000 square foot garage, as far as I'm concerned, to be there. I mean, there are houses that are 1,000 square feet, just the whole house. So it's going to be, it could be like another house right next to that house on the same property. So that's, I just don't want to be, I sit out on our deck, out our back windows and everything, and we look out into the woods. It's really nice. I don't want to see a structure backed up right to the back of my, to the fence line right there. And so that's the main concern. I couldn't hear everything back there.
Couldn't hear, yeah, we couldn't hear.
Couldn't hear some of the stuff, but it seemed like she had some vehicles or something that were gonna be going in and out due to maybe their business that they're in, and I don't know what it is. So I could be wrong about that. I think y'all heard that better than I did. But I thought there was some, I know there's a trailer that parks in her garage now.
Her driveway.
Or driveway, I'm sorry. And so I don't know if there's gonna be a lot of movement in and out, whatever. But the main thing is, it's just a very big structure, and when we sit out on our deck, which is often, and from the back of our house, we're gonna be looking right at the back of it because it's gonna be right at the property line. So
Okay.
that's one of our concerns. You want me to-
Can we ask a question? Or now, not now? No, okay.
Okay, what do you wanna do? You wanna talk about any of that?
Let's see. Yeah. I don't know the next procedure. Do we wait until she, okay, let's wait just a minute, I guess. Do we have a chance to come back up here? I'm not sure of the procedure.
Yeah. Do-
We can ask him back up. What, Fred? Yeah, you're asked back up only if you have questions.
We can come back if we have a question.
If we have questions.
Oh, if you have a question, so this is us, if we, okay.
Who do you wish to ask questions of?
I'm sorry,
Who do you want to ask questions of?
Mrs. Carroll.
Madam Chair,
How do you
would
want-
you allow me to
Yes.
interject here? So I'm going to pause the time. So you have 10 requests. When you're done or the 10 minutes expires, you sit down. And then you can only enter into dialogue based upon if the board has questions for you. And if that's the case, they'll bring you back up for additional questions. So at this time, you make your evidence, your presentation. There's no interchange, no dialogue, no questioning back and forth.
Okay,
So now I'm going to go ahead and start the time back up
so
for
we
you,
have
okay?
to say this then, now, I guess.
Okay, I do want to mention that the 1,000 square foot, a regular two-car garage is like, right about 500 square feet. So it's like two garages, okay?
Okay, what do we want to do next?
Okay, so she has mentioned a couple of times that she would be willing to put some trees separating so that we would not be able to see the garage. That's a possibility, but they would have to be evergreen trees that covered the whole structure back there. Because if they're not evergreen trees, if you just plant some trees back there or some foliage of some kind, then it's gonna drop off in the fall, winter, and all that, and we'll be right back where we were to begin with. So if she's gonna put something there, we request that they would be evergreens that cover from the entire
Height and width.
back, height and width of the structure.
And replace them if they become diseased.
Yeah, the other concern is if the trees at some point become, die or become discolored or, have some kind of problem, that they get replaced in a timely manner. So it just won't be dead trees back there that we're looking at. Let's see. The other thing is that we would really like to do, because as I understood it from the last meeting, her husband is going to be building this structure. And so what we would ask is that if they are going to be allowed to build that big a structure back there, that we request that the trees be planted, the cover would be planted before they start construction, because once they start construction, it's going to be winter time. It could take a long time to work on it. It could sit there for, a long time, half up and half down, and it would just be an eyesore. It would also, I believe, it could have some effect on my property value over the years if somebody came in, if we sell our house. I think it could decrease the property value. Is there anything else?
No. I do have a concern that I'd like to make clear it's not a business, with her talking about the business cars going in and out. That would be just something I would, like to know, that it's not a business, that it's a personal garage. That's it. That we're done. We're done.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Why don't you folks, okay, you folks can have a seat. Let me get the applicant back up. And then if you could pass the drawings back, let's try to see let's show everybody what we have there. Let's start with the 7th, see what that looks like.
You don't want it flat.
Okay, so Ms. Carroll, is this doable, or is there a construction issue that this creates if we go with this?
No, it's doable.
Okay. Any reason why you'd be upset if we went with this one?
No. Like I said, it would just cleaning the gutters and keeping it pressure washed. That's all a pressure washer wants, about 4 foot long, and just be easier, but we will do whatever we need to do.
All right, so the date of this one is 10/08, revised 10/08, 2025, to show the location of the garage to be a minimum of 7 feet at all points from the boundary with your neighbor, correct?
Yeah.
Boundary to the west, correct?
Me, yes. Yes.
Okay, I see where north is here, so it's your boundary to the west. You're gonna
Yes.
stay 7 feet off of there. You willing to put up at least 2 evergreen trees in the back half of the garage, the space back there?
Absolutely.
Where you have about 10 feet, 8 inches, where that would make some sense?
Yeah, it's not a
Okay.
problem.
Okay. And then tell us again about the building materials on the garage.
It's going to be a wood frame and then steel on the outside, the steel sheathing or whatever they call it.
Okay. Have you shown the building materials to the neighbor?
Whenever I went to his house, he didn't want to see anything.
Okay.
I mean, I have it, he's welcome to see it.
Can you just leave them up there?
Yep.
Just leave them right there. Then any of my fellow members have any questions?
I just want to get clarification from you with what the opposition said. So this is for personal use only? There will be no business
No
conducted?
business.
No business trucks, no?
No, we're both retired. We just want to move to Georgia to be our full-time home. We want to sell the home that we have in Indiana, and it has a large garage on it. I've got pictures of that if you want to
Okay,
see it.
No, that's fine. I just
And
want to make sure.
as far as the trailer that's in the driveway, just so you know, there's been construction on Old Stylesboro Road, and traffic's been coming through our subdivision a lot. And there's a couple gentlemen that live at the first house where you turn into the subdivision that do construction work, and they had trailers, and they were trying to find places to park them to get them out of the way. And I told them, you're welcome to put it at the top of my driveway to keep everybody happy until this is done and over with. So that's why there's a trailer there.
So the
It's
trailer
not
there's
mine.
temporary?
The trailer there will leave probably today.
Okay. Thank
As
you
soon as
very
I get
much.
approval, and they know we're going to start.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So can you just describe the materials for me again
Um,
that you're going to use on the exterior?
On the garage,
Yes.
it's going to be wood framed, and it's going to be charcoal gray, steel, and that will be the side, the walls, and the roof will be, it'll be a steel building. And then the house will be vinyl siding.
All right, you say you have samples you can leave right there?
Yeah.
All right, let me get the Runions back up.
Okay.
Okay, we've got charcoal gray steel exterior, we've got no business use, we've got, they're gonna be at least 7 feet off the property line at all points, and we've got just some evergreens. Have we done good, or are we
But
still?
the trees, I don't think 2 will cover
What do you
that.
think what do you think it should be?
Well, I don't know the measurement. So if you see the building there where the garage is gonna be, it is almost as big as the house, but I'm not sure how wide it's gonna be there, so I cannot tell you how many trees that it would take to cover that area, but it doesn't seem like 2 would be enough, but,
We just asked it to be covered,
yeah.
regardless how many it takes.
Okay. What do you think of that gray steel?
It's okay. That's fine, as long as it's covered.
Okay.
And we can't see it, even in the winter when we have no leaves, you know. But she's made several comments that we were not willing to help, which is not true. And we just want it covered,
We just don't want to be looking at that
nicely covered.
when we're out in our backyard, out on our deck, and things like that.
And
We
we
do
will.
not want to be looking
Okay.
at,
And it would like for it to be done prior to building, because like we say, the weather's coming in, and it may get halfway done, and we're looking at an unstructured building.
Any other questions for the Runions? Go ahead.
Not questions, but I just wanted to comment, if you would consider adding a side note for the applicant to meet with the county arborist to come up with a solution that will provide the best coverage, the quickest, so that, you know, it protects both parties.
Oh. I appreciate it. Anything else for the opposition here? Okay, thank you. You can have a seat.
Thank you for your time.
You bet. All right. Unless anybody else has anything, I'll go ahead with the motion at this time.
Can I just add one more thing?
Yeah,
Just because I've run in this before, is that since this is being built by her husband, that it all has to be permitted.
Yeah, certainly.
And then also no living, no business. Thanks.
All right, Mr. Peterson, before I make the motion, one more question, I'm sorry. During the permit process, are they going to be required to have like silt fences up or something?
Yes, they will.
Okay, so it might not be the best time to be planting at the same time?
You know, depending on how quick they get it up this fall, they could probably plant afterwards.
Okay, yeah. All right, so my motion will be this, that we approve variance case B106 according to the revised drawing, which was revised on October 8, 2025, locating the northwest corner of the planned garage 7 feet from the western boundary. The applicant to use not less than 4 evergreen trees, each to be at least 5 feet tall at the time of planting, so as to provide immediate ground cover. I like Nelliara hollies, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. That way your neighbors will get to look at little berries on there a good bit of the time. But In addition, there's to be no business, the condition is that there's to be absolutely no business use of this garage, and that the siding of the garage be charcoal gray, and that the garage be permitted.
Second.
Place your votes. Passes 5-0. Thank you. Next case.
Okay, next case we're going to hear is variance case V109, Terry L. Yeager. Request a variance to allow an accessory use, which is proposed pool equipment to be located to the side of the principal building in land lot 242 of the 20th District. The property is located on the west side of Falkirk Lane, north of Tayside Crossing. Is the applicant present? Let the record show the applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V109? 2. Okay, let the record show there's 2 people opposed. All those who would like to address the board, please come forward to be sworn in.
Good afternoon. Mary Yeager, Terry Yeager. We're the property owners at 1415 Falkirk Lane. Our original hearing last month, just to refresh your memory, is the photo showing the original variance for the side yard pool equipment, pool pump. 5 months ago, I think we started this plan. This is a small project pool. It's a hot tub and a splash pool. So the pump is a little bit on the smaller side. Our landscaper pool contractor recommended this location at the side yard. It's behind a corner of the house that you can see in the photo. So it's obscured from the street view. I circled the wood pile. This is the location for the pump. The pump is about 2 feet shorter than the wood pile. From our neighbor's view, which they presented at the last hearing, they could see the top half of the wood pile from their windows. They can speak to that, but the point is that the pump is about midway down in height, but relatively the same length. We planned with our art committee and got their approval to plant encore azaleas there. If you can imagine it, it's not in the photo, but it will be in front of that wood pile, in front of the pump. Flowering encore azaleas all the way down. And to the right of that, where you see the shrubs, that's also on our property. That will be replaced with a full-length shrub. So basically, we'll have 2 rows of shrubs. Our original plan was to completely obscure the site of this pump. So we were approved by our art committee. The board, some objections were raised, and our board met with us also, Our neighbors opposed that, and so we met with the board. The board still approves the site, and of course, staff recommended at the last hearing approval on this site. So as far as I know, we still have approval on this site. With objections that apparently were raised to all the boards, an alternate plan came up that we are opposed to, which I want to speak to y'all during my time here. Because this alternate plan, much more open, much more visible, we can't obscure it as well, and it's in a difficult part of our yard. Yeah, so let me show you. The alternate plan is to put the pump has to remain at the level of the pool per our contractor. So the level part of our backyard at the fence line is the location of the alternate plan. This is approximately where this fig tree is located. So I'm going to just refer to the fig tree as where the pool pump would go. Our contractor, I called him about this. It will kill the fig tree when we dig there and put a pool equipment there. This is a difficult spot. The hill rises behind it to about 3 feet. It's root-bound hill. Nothing grows there. Everything I plant dies. I'll show you a close-up in a minute. I've got statues there. But there at the bottom, the fig tree does grow. We can put a pool pump there. The problem is surrounding it with shrubs I can't do. I can fence it, I can screen it. It's right at our property line where the fence will go. It will be very visible to the neighbors. It's, as you can see, it's right at our patio as well, very visible. Here is a photo of, you can see the fig tree on the right. So imagine the pump there. The fence is where the red flag is. So it's directly behind that area. And to the full left, you can see the neighbor's patio. So they can sit out on their patio and they will see the big box or whatever it looks like when we screen it. This bed is about 8 feet. I can't guarantee a row of shrubs to cover this. I definitely can't guarantee 2 rows of shrubs. Although my pool contractor is a landscaper, and he said we can at least guarantee a screen. So that's what will be there. To me, this location is, I call it a split the baby decision because it's visible now more to both of us, in my opinion, from both patios. And it won't be very pretty. I can't put encore azaleas and shrubs around this location. Let me show you a higher rise view of that hill. You can see the incline behind the fig tree. So there's no room to put the pump behind the fig tree without digging into the hill. It will be there at the fig tree to remain level with the pool. So that is the proposed location, alternate location, as I was told. See if this picture even helps you at all. Not really. More visible there from both patios. This photo is standing at that location. So when those trees are moved to put in our fence, you can see that tree line will be moved to put in the fence. And this pump equipment with the screen around it will be visible to the street, that street view there, facing the street. So, I circled there on the left again, the wood pile. This is our preferred location, our requested variance against the side of our house behind the corner, which we will cover with 2 rows of shrubs. Out of consideration of our neighbors. That was our primary concern when that location was chosen, so that it's not visible to them. This picture is showing, again, just the property line marker where the fence will go inside that red flag, and you can see it's very close to the fig tree. That's just showing there's not a lot of space in that bed to plant around pool equipment. I have an email that I received yesterday. I called our art committee chair, who has been on our case from the beginning, and she forwarded to me an email from the board members on this second location. Ben Eccles, I think, is on the board, but this is from Mark Butrin, who is our board liaison with the HOA. Their official statement, and I can give this to you all, it's an email. On the second location is the board will not oppose this proposed alternate location for the pool variance. So I asked her, what does that mean? And she said, well, basically, we have approved you for both sites. So we are waiting. Please vote. We ask you to vote yes or no on a site for us. I mean, if you would today, and give us an approval on our variance. We feel our original variance, we hope, would satisfy our neighbors. We feel we can beautify that side of our yard. This box, as I call it, on the fence line, could affect property value. It won't be very pretty, and it's visible to both patios. I don't prefer it, my husband doesn't prefer it. And so we hope you will vote for our variance as we requested. That would help everyone, in my opinion. Thank you. That's all.
Thank y'all. Now, if the opposition would come up.
We don't really have anything further. We said everything that we wanted to say last time.
Please state your name, please, for the record.
This is Chuck and Kelly Barnes.
And you might want to restate, at least briefly, your concerns.
Okay.
All right, the two houses are close together. And, we didn't want it right outside our view, which is, the window that would be closest to where they want to put the pump. Okay?
That part of the home is our kitchen and our family room. That's where we spend probably 90% of our time. So our house sits low and theirs sits up high, so we're at direct view of where the pool equipment would be. And it's just something that, I would not want to look at for the time that I'm going to own the home. And our realtor also said that it could affect property value, having it at that location. Go ahead.
It's the closest to where our house is versus the other location. And to me, on the other location where the hill is, they could dig into the hill if you wanted, and they could hide that pump better than what she's actually, trying to say. And also, there's an opportunity to move it a little bit right up where she is saying, in my opinion, and she could landscape around it just as nicely as she could landscape in the other place with some things that I think that would be good for both parties. And so we have a fairly large oak leaf hydrangea that blocks an area very well to where that second location would be. And I just think it's best, that they put it there for all parties. And I did some research on my end afterwards, after hearing her say that it had to be level. Her pool guy may be telling her that's the best, but the location of the pump equipment, it can be higher or lower. It doesn't have to be right on the same level. I mean, if they have to get a bigger pump, then I guess they'd have to get a bigger pump. But anyway, that's from all the research I did from pool people, that is not accurate. Okay.
Yeah. But if they were to put it up in the hill, if they dig it out, they could put it more on lower, so it wouldn't just be so up there. They can excavate the land and put it inside and cover it with little bushes. And I think they would all be happy.
I think that'd be the best, I don't understand why that wouldn't be the best for all parties.
It's just our houses are so close, so. And if there was ever a leak, water always goes to the lowest point, and that would come down at mine. But I've already had some issues with moisture, and I've done extensive drainage work there, and I've also had, other issues with the house with termites, and I just don't want to, be exposed to potentially have moisture problems down the road. Yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Okay, let me get the applicant back up and ask you, if you could, to show us whatever email you have from Mark Buttrin of the ACC, or the ARC, as you call it.
want it on the screen.
That'd be great,
Yeah.
thank you.
You'll see at the top, it's from Chris. That's Chris Thornton, who is the co-chair of the art committee that we've been working with from the beginning, who gave us the original approval, preferred site on the side yard. She forwarded to me, below that, you can see this is from Mark Butrin. And I believe someone else's name is copied in that as well. So below that in bold, you see the official statement from the board on the second location. They're not going to oppose it.
Do they have a visual showing the second location?
Let me see if I have it. Was that from you or was that from them? I saw it in an email.
It's from them, I think.
Okay, thank you. That would help me know where I might have put it. I'm not sure if I printed that out, but it's showing at the fig tree. And of course, I don't have my phone. It's on my phone.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Can you tell us where the fence is going to go?
Yes.
That's a good picture right there. Let's see it.
Well, this basically is showing our property line. It's just, it's very scribbly, I apologize, but the line is just, our property line is just inside their retaining wall.
Okay. And you're telling me a bunch of trees are going to come down right there?
Those trees reside at our property line.
So
They're on our property, basically. They will have to be moved, put in the fence.
for what distance are those trees coming down? How far down the side of the property?
All the way to the hill, to the fig tree.
Okay. How far in the other direction?
That's
Probably 35 feet, maybe, I'm guessing.
almost to the front of the house.
No,
Let me
not-
see.
Not that far.
I don't walk on that side of the house very much.
All of these
I'm sorry, they don't. They go just to the pool pump, where the wood pile. Show that picture, Terry.
Okay, so this is great. So a lot of those trees we see right there now are not going to remain, correct?
That's right, in that location, yes.
All right.
So there'll be, that's where the property line is and where the fence will go. So it's a real narrow side yard, narrow bed in our side yard when you put the fence in and move some of that landscaping. We have planned with our landscaper, pool contractor, to re-landscape that whole side yard when the construction is finished.
I'm not complaining either, but those trees are our neighbors' trees, even though they're on our yard. I'm not complaining about that, but
Okay,
at some point, when we put a fence in for the pool, a lot of them are going to have to be removed.
How far, can you locate that fig tree relative to this visual?
Have a good picture of that.
Is that it? That's the other end of the tree line, and the fig tree
This fig tree's pretty large. It's right
is there.
Right, can you go back to the other picture and show us where it is relative to the boundary so we can identify it?
I'm not sure.
I think I might have a better picture showing the boundary. Here's did we show them this boundary right by here's a red flag. So sorry.
Okay, do you know about how far off the property lines it is?
The fig tree is where it's shown.
Okay, so how far would you say that is off the property line?
Off the back line?
Let's start with off the sideline, 10 feet?
Oh, it's within 8 feet of the property line. As you go to the right, away from the fig tree.
All right.
Yeah,
And
that's about it.
7.4 feet?
Something like that.
Okay.
That looks very close. That's very close.
It's about 8 feet to the edge of the grass line as it is now.
Okay. And then how far would that be to the back property line?
To the back corner, I'd say,
You can go corner, that'd be an angle.
I'm going to say 15, 18 feet.
I'm sorry, from the fig tree to there, Terry?
Yeah, big tree to the back corner.
Oh,
But that's where that real steep
it's
slope
an
is.
incline, 10, 12 feet would be my guess.
Right.
Yeah,
But you see your neighbors have a wall down there. They kind of have a sunken backyard compared to you, and they have a wall, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then you've got a fairly flat area going all the way back to roughly where you've located this fig tree, it would seem, right?
That's right.
Except yes, yes, we do.
Okay. And then, how big is how tall is the pump you're talking about putting in?
3 to 4 feet tall.
It's about 3 feet, maybe a little more. And then it's got, a couple of kettle-looking things tied together with piping.
All right, this is great to have the topo here.
Yeah, you can see the
So
slope.
what we see is you're at 1067. So that fig tree, let's locate that fig tree again. That's right around the 1070. Okay.
You see how it's the same elevation wrapping around the house.
Yeah, we're
The
trying
el-
to
so
stay
the-
in that same elevation.
So the elevation wrapping around the house is right around 1069, right?
I
Okay,
can't
can't tell.
see.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. If anyone else has any questions?
I have a question. We keep talking about this fence that you need to put around. Could you please tell me how high the fence will be and where it starts and how it goes around the property for the pool?
Yeah, so in our neighborhood, they don't allow privacy fences. It's an open iron gate fence that will tie in with our other neighbor who has no problem. We're going to tie in with his, which is about this high. Would you say this high?
I'd say 4 or 5 feet.
Tall. So it'll tie in with theirs, go across our back at an angle, and come down our side yard. I believe our plan was to come midway to our side yard and put a gate there.
About where your cursor is now is where the gate would be for the backyard fence.
And that meets code for fencing for a pool?
It was approved with our ARC, yeah.
But is it approved for
Oh,
the
has it,
standards for building a pool and putting a fence around it?
we by contractor said we've gotten some permits, so I assume that's been permitted. I haven't heard that it wasn't.
Mr. Peterson, is that correct, according to our standards?
As far as our standards go, the fence for a pool should be at least 4 feet tall.
Yes,
And the
yes.
slats in the fence could be there could be a gap no bigger than 4 inches in the fence.
That's it, that fits.
And it should have a self-closing, self-latching gate.
Okay, yes.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Do any of my other members have any questions for the applicant? Okay, you can have a seat, thank you. So, so my meeting with with Mr. Butchrin of the Architectural Controls Committee out there was to try to find a mutually beneficial solution that would make everybody happy. I didn't fully succeed in that regard, but I certainly tried. And the thought was, what's not entirely evident from looking at this, but what was more evident from looking at the other visual. There's a nice natural berm basically between the golf course and the backyard here. So really, I believe it's just beyond the property line is kind of the crest of the berm. There you go. So it's really not terribly visible because you have 1074 height would be blocking the view from the golf course as long as we recessed it at least 2 feet below existing grade, roughly where that tree is. So that was my thought as to some place to put it that would cure the objection from the neighbor, we could grant a variance, allow it there. Just require it be placed at an elevation, basically recessed into that hill at a base elevation of 1069, and then have something put around it where it wouldn't be visible. But by putting it at a base elevation of 1069, or it would work relative to the pool, and it would be recessed there, so it wouldn't be terribly visible. That was the thought. So if that's a good idea, I'll go ahead and make a motion then. The motion is to approve a variance. We do need a variance here, John, correct?
The variance is needed for the requested location, which is where the wood stack is on the side of the house. But I'm not exactly sure where you're proposing to put it now.
The proposed location would be within, potentially, we're showing within 7 feet of the property line of the common property line. Getting directions here, showing north, so to the south. Yeah. Okay. If you could pull it back just a little bit, maybe away from the rear line, just a tad, and then we'll go with that. That's good. Okay. Actually, mark it just a little more to the rear at the 1071 line, if you would. Okay. So that would be 7 feet off the south property line, and how many feet off the west property line? 8, let's go with 8.
And they don't need a variance to put it there.
What's that?
They don't need a variance to put it there. That would meet the code.
So we just simply deny the variance and they can put it there then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What will we have to do to, my concern is that we have this thing recessed. That would be within what, 5 feet, or is there?
Well, for the pool equipment, there's 2 standards it has to meet. It's got to be 5 feet off the property lines, the rear and the side. And number 1, it's got to be behind, number 2, it's going to be behind the back line of the house. So once they meet those 2 criteria, then they could put it along that same property line, maybe even closer, closer than what they're proposing when it's on the side of the house.
All right, so what if we went at the 1069, well, it's actually a 1070 right there. Actually, let's go to 1071 and go to 5 feet off the property line right there. So 4.5 feet off the property line, then we can do the variance, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So let's go 4.5 feet off the south property line. Allow a pump not to exceed 4 feet in height, to be located 4.5 feet off the south property line, and then how many feet is that off the west property line? 8 feet off the west property line. Would the pad elevation for that pump, or the ground elevation it sits on, I don't know if it sits on a pad or the ground, do you know, John?
Pool pumps and filters normally sit on a pad.
Okay, so a pad elevation not to exceed 1069. And that's feet above sea level, correct?
Yes.
All right, that's my motion for approval then, for a variance.
Second.
Place your votes, please.
Can I speak?
Approved. Thank you.
Okay. Last item on today's agenda is variance case V119, Liam Burns, request a variance to, one, reduce the setbacks for an accessory structure, which is a proposed 1,300 square foot pool house, required 100 feet to 39 feet adjacent to the eastern property line and 80 feet adjacent to the southern property line. Number two, reduce setbacks for an accessory structure, which is an existing approximately 810 square foot brick shop and storage building, required 100 feet to 81 feet adjacent to the northern property line and 70 feet adjacent to the western property line. Number three, reduce the setbacks for an accessory structure, which is an existing 448 square foot chicken coop, required 25 feet to 19 feet adjacent to the western property line. And number four, allow a second electrical meter in land lot 415 of the 19th district. The property is located on the north side of Macklin Road, west of McEacher Manor Drive. Is the applicant present? Let the record show the applicant is here. Is there anyone here opposed to variance case V119? Let the record show there's no one opposed. Would the applicant please come forward to be sworn in?
Good afternoon. State your name and present your project.
Hello, my name is Liam Burns. Our intent with this project is to build a 1,300 square foot pool house / guest house at the rear corner of the property. The homeowner, David here, had the pool built about 15 months ago. It would be a single story wood framed house, 2-bedroom, 2-car garage, with a separate electrical meter. The intent is to have people able to use this house when they're in the pool rather than going into the main house to shower or change. Do you want to add anything?
No. I'm the homeowner, he's the general contractor.
Like I mentioned, single-story building, maybe 18 feet to the peak, slab on grade, hardy board siding with architectural shingles on the roof.
So the general idea is a place to store a boat. When I buy a boat, that's what I'm going to put in the 2-car garage, and then a small residential dwelling attached to it for my oldest adult son if he wants to live out there or something small. My name's David Moss. I'm the homeowner, I'm sorry.
All right, thank you. So we have an interesting picture in front of us. Can you tell us what we're looking at here? Besides, we can kind of tell where the pool is. Tell us.
The house is on the lower or on the bottom of the screen there.
Right? Trampoline?
Yep, trampoline.
Okay,
And then you got the pool
right?
at the middle of the property. There's an existing shed to the left. And that open area on the back right is the proposed location for this pool / guest house.
And what's this last structure back there?
An existing workshop. It's been there since the 50s
Okay.
or 60s. It's been there a while before we moved in.
All right, so just out of curiosity, why do you want the pool house so far back behind the pool?
It's gonna be more of an apartment rather than a pool house. A small residential apartment. So we had originally talked about putting it right behind the pool to make it a pool house, but we talked to the surveyors and they recommended that just due to how close it was, the proximity, that location wouldn't work, because we were gonna do a bottom floor with a bathroom and a small kitchen for a pool house area, and then the top floor was gonna be an apartment. But after talking to the surveyor, they recommended moving it back and not doing the pool house there at all, not doing it as a pool house.
The other consideration is enough room for a septic system. We need enough room for the drain lines.
Takes a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what use do you intend to make of the apartment?
To rent out, to have my son, if he ever, wants to move out of the house, he's 21 now, if he wants to move out of the house and have his own place, just to have additional living space.
Okay. Does anyone else have questions of the applicant before I go to staff? Okay. So, Mr. Peterson, what issues does that create for us?
Yes, the county does not allow guest houses or accessory dwelling units on the same lot. We only allow one house per lot. So, if the board approved this, it cannot be used as a second dwelling unit. You cannot use it as another house. We would be glad to show you how to subdivide the property to have two legal lots. We can then build that second house, but the board does not allow two houses on one lot.
Would you like us to just hold this for 30 days and let you meet with county staff to see what might be in your best interest?
What do you say?
So you're saying the intended use would have to change for this?
Yeah, it could be a storage building.
Or a garage?
Or a garage, but it could not be used for dwelling use.
Okay.
But like I said, there's enough property here and enough road frontage to split the lot and make two lots. So you could then you could build your house where you want it on this plat.
Would we need a separate driveway if we're doing a lot divide, or?
Not necessarily, you would have to show an access easement to get from Macklin Road back to the second house if the property line meanders that way. But we could show you how to do that. The only downside is we only allow one homestead exemption for your house. So the second property would be getting a separate tax bill that does not have the homestead exemption on it.
I mean, you want bedrooms in there, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, can we postpone for 30 days?
Yeah, well, my motion is that we go ahead and hold this for 30 days.
I second it.
Place your votes, please. Motion to postpone is approved. Thank you. I encourage you to work with the staff here, and they will be able to help you understand all the different parameters that you will need to meet to accomplish what your goal is.
Okay.
Okay, folks. Have you all had time to look at the minutes? Please. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve all minutes.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, please place your votes. The minutes are approved. Is there anything else that we need to work on besides adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Please vote. We are adjourned. Thank you.